Well, good evening, friends. Welcome to Breathing Earth Qigong. First and last, I want to mention I will not be available next Monday. We'll be skipping next Monday. There'll be no class. And I will send emails out to everybody, and Doug Brown from the Taiji Center will let folks know. But then I'll return again. So next is the 26th. So I guess after that it'd be May 3rd or something. So we'll just pick back up, but we're just going to skip one Monday. And just as a reminder, all these classes are videoed and they're stored on YouTube. So there is a link for it. You can just go to YouTube and put in my name or Breathing Earth Qigong, and then you can utilize. There's many, 40 or 50. Take your pick. And if you want to practice in this format. So I'll remind you again at the end. If one of you reminds me, I'll remind you. So we are recording, right? Yes, good. All right. Okay, so today, by popular request, we're going to be doing some Qigong, which is internal Qi awareness and movement. We're going to focus particularly on the microcosmic orbit. Just a word about that. So it's microcosmic, meaning that the body and the mind are a micro version of the whole universe. So as we move, as we become aware of and move chi in the body, we're actually moving in the whole universe because of the ripple effect, and at the same time, the universe is in the body. So we're actually in the space of the body, and it's not separate from the outside. But for our purposes here, like our lungs are definitely in here. They're not 10 feet over there. So we got to be clear about this. So there are internal practices. But what we discover in doing these more and more is we discover the basic reality that's outside of us as well. So we'll do the microcosmic orbit, which is really mostly about wellness. It's about filtering and cleansing and moving, opening the body, the internal organs of the body, to the movement of qi. And then we'll follow that with another internal Qigong, which is a spiritual path. So we'll do both. And just to be clear, for some folks who haven't practiced with this form that long, there are two ways to begin for the standing. One is where we do standing mountain, and this is where the arms are, there's like a hard-boiled egg under each armpit, is how it's taught. So the arms are slightly out to the side. They're a little bit straight. In other words, the elbow is a little bit straightened. And then there's a little bit of stiffness or stretch in the hands. So we're sort of forming this triangle with the body. And standing mountain is about merging our intentionality, our consciousness, that is, merging with the body and indicating a downward direction. So that means we look down, we drop our attention down through the body, down, and then we do the extended sensory awareness by extending awareness through the fingers, through the arms, hands, fingers, and down into the earth, sort of like we're shooting energy down into the earth. And then we can also extend and just sort of ask this question: what would it feel like to grow roots down into the ground? And so there's this visual image of that. At the same time, it's suggesting a sensory: what would it feel like if we had roots going into the ground? If those roots were part of our body, what would that feel like? So this standing mountain posture um, is intended to bring us out of our thinking mind and out of our day-to-day life, our abstractions, and just letting go of all of it and down into the body, into the world of form. And in this position, the focus is more on the out breath. The out breath is more of a letting go, so going down. So we're intentionally moving the chi, or moving our awareness down the body. So that's standing mountain. The next one is it's just standing position number one, which is similar, except that now the elbows are slightly bent, and the hands are relaxed, and the palms are facing each other, as if we're holding, a ball or a disc. And the difference here is that this is about a connection between the hands. So, and it's as if, if we're extending our consciousness or perception beyond the body, the fingers would go into each other. And so this is sort of bringing all of our awareness into the torso, into the body, and not so much focusing it down, but focusing it internally. I'm exaggerating the hands a little bit. They're actually more relaxed. This is a more relaxed posture. And the focus is not on the in-breath or the out-breath. And you may actually feel, more tingling, more sensation in the hands. Okay, and then I'll just show you. So the related posture to this one is when we now focus the palms of the hands directly toward the body. And so this is since there's a lot of nerve endings in our hands, and we're very aware of where our hands are, there's a lot of consciousness there, and we're projecting that into the body. And we're sort of holding the body, but not the physical. Our hands aren't on the body. They're kind of relating to the body through the chi, or the energy, or the consciousness. Okay? So it's from here that we go into the Qigong. We go into the internal practices. Okay? So let's just go back to standing. Okay, very good. Let's turn to the east. If you don't know which is east, that's okay. Just pick one. And we'll do the 7 directions. So bowing to the east. And then turning to the south. And to the west. And to the north. And back to the first position. Okay, so the mind is going up, eyes are going up. Extend, stretch, and extend the awareness out, up, out. Okay, very good. And now around, extend. Very good. And now we're going to touch the earth. And then back to the two dantians. This is the lower dantian in the abdomen, middle dantian in the chest. And just notice, relax. Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. Let's go ahead and loosen up the head and neck a little. And then down to the shoulders. You can do them left, right, or you can do them together. We're making circles. Okay, very good. And widen the stance a little bit. Let's so open. This is just breathing very deeply and expressing that with the body. Okay, let's do a couple more. Okay. And then rocking the pelvis. You can use your hands or not. It's very good for the lower spine. If there's a little bit of pain or stiffness, just a tiny bit, that's okay. Okay. And then circling the hips. Just we want to keep this lower back and the hips very loose so they don't get stiff. Okay, good. That's good enough now. Now, if we go into standing, you probably don't want to do standing mountain. It would seem unnatural because now you're more loose, you're more flexible. So then you just sort of let the hands just drop into this kind of just this natural, relaxed and alert. And then just notice the sensations in the body. Notice the space of the mind, the mood, the atmosphere. And notice the tingling and the heat. So the tingling, we can detect it with our sense of feel. And it's our aliveness. It's what's here when we're alive. It's just this energy. You can feel it, but it manifests through the senses, all the senses, and at the same time is much bigger and manifests through the mind. So it's the same stuff that makes up thoughts. And it's the same stuff at a finer level that's aware of all of this. So this is the awareness of chi. And once we're aware of it, then we can focus on cultivating it or moving it. Okay, very good. Now let's go into backwash and tree and spring. So bringing attention right to the very crown of the head. Now when we bring attention to any place, we feel it maybe, but it enlivens it. When we bring our attention to something, it enlivens whatever that is. So the top of the head is kind of activated. And then let's open up, do the backwash. Now our attention's going right down the spine. Kick it all the way down to the end of the tailbone. And then now as we come back up, we move our attention back up the spine. We can use our eyes and look inward. And before the head starts coming up, the hands begin. Okay, point up, out, extend. 1. In breath. 2. You know, the fingers are pointing, our attention is going into the body, up the spine, all the way up to the crown. Good. Extend up and out. 3. Good. Tree and spring. Very good. Okay, let's repeat the backwash and 3 tree and spring. Okay, don't move faster than your attention can follow. Your attention's going down the spine. And just before the chin comes up, pointing, lighting up the body. Up. 1. Now, if you're musical, you can do this with notes. The notes get higher as you go up, very high. And if you're very visual, you can do the rainbow. It starts with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, whatever works for you. Okay, and now one more. Okay, if you want to, and say to yourself, coach yourself with words if you want to, or not. Okay, very good. Okay, we'll do a version now of heaven and earth. So we're going to go up and we're going to circle the hands. And we're going to go left and right. So up and down, left and right. Okay, with the breath. So cause some deep breathing. Okay, very good. Now you can sit way down if you want, or you can remain upright, depending on how much exercise you want. Okay, let's do one more on each side. And now just come back to center and let's continue the movements, but we'll reduce the movements. Let the breath and the heartbeat calm down. And we're reducing the movement now. So now it's just going to be moving between the two dantians, the lower and the middle. Okay, very good. And let the hands get very slow. And then we'll end up with one over the middle dantian, one in front of the lower dantian. And you can continue with the in-breath when the torso expands. The arms can move, the hands can move away a little bit. Okay, now as we're in this position, we're focusing on the belly and the chest. We're also sort of describing this column of light around the body. We're kind of creating it or sensing it. Okay, and at the same time, there's this this vertical, this kind of laser beam of light from the center of the earth through the perineum. It's the lowest point in the torso. Through the perineum and up through the lower dantian, the middle dantian, the neck, the upper dantian, and the head. Out the top of the head and up. And so we can focus our attention anywhere on this vertical column or line. If you like, you can use your eyes. If you look way down, you can drop your attention down into your body, down into the earth. And you can move it up the body. You can move it up into the head, up, out, and way up. So all of this is available. Or you can let the attention be diffuse rather than focused or linear. You can let it be diffused so that you have this sense of this column. It's bigger, it's more diffuse than the line. And you can have a sense of even out around the body. So it's just a matter of how we want to focus the attention. If we want to focus it very one-pointedly, very finely, or let it be very big, or anything in between. Okay. So there are 14 points on the microcosmic orbit. There's the perineum and there's the crown of the head, opposites. And then there's a pair at the tailbone in the back and down in the lower dantian in the front. Okay, that's a pair. And then there's another pair about halfway up the spine, or the kidney, what they call the kidneys, and the solar plexus. So between the lower and the middle, there's a pair of points there on the spine, and then internally. And then there's a pair of points at the heart, and then the thoracic vertebrae, and I think it's number 14, but it's behind the heart. So the heart's the front, and then there's one behind. And then there's another pair at the top of the thoracic spine. In other words, where the neck begins, there's one there, and then correspondingly in the throat, there's a pair there. And then there's a pair in the brain, and then in the third eye, or between the eyes and the forehead, there's a pair there. And actually, the very top of the spine would be the back part of it, the back point. The front point would be the third eye, and the brain would be in between. So that's 14, okay? And we can move our attention anywhere among those, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a seat. And just settle into your sitting posture. You can use your inner voice and sort of talk yourself through it a little bit so that your body's still. Okay. Now, in moving the awareness or the chi, you can move your eyes if you like. So let's begin at the perineum. The perineum is also the connection down into the earth. If we're putting our attention there, it automatically connects down to into the earth, or into the roots. It grounds us totally just by putting our attention there. And you can use your eyes and looking inside the body so that you're actually moving the attention down inside the body. Okay, so we'll start at the perineum. And what we'll do is we'll take a couple of breaths. So just focusing on that point. You can pretend you're breathing in and out of that point, or you can just keep the attention there. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay there. Okay, so we're just breathing in and out that one point. Okay, and then what we're going to do is with an in breath, we're going to move up then to the tailbone, to the bottom of the tailbone. So when you're ready, inhale. And we put our attention at the tip of the spine. And we breathe there. And we haven't forgotten the perineum. But we're focusing on the tip of the spine internally. Okay, and then with another in-breath, we're going to move up to the kidneys, sort of halfway up the back. And we're still in the back, we're still on the spine. So when you're ready, in-breath, and you come up, move the eyes up. And we're bringing attention there, and we're also still aware of the two that are below. And breathing in and out there. Okay. Now when you're ready, the next in-breath, you'll move up to right behind the heart, still on the spine. Breathe in and out there. And this is as if we're creating kind of what they call a string of pearls. You can move your body just slightly if that helps to bring the attention to that point. Move the shoulders back just a touch. We're breathing in and out there. Okay, and the next in-breath, we're going to bring the attention up to the top of the thoracic spine, kind of where the neck begins. We're going to keep the attention there, breathing in and out there. Okay, very good. And with the next in-breath, we're going to bring the attention up to the very top of the spine where it meets the skull. And this may be very light because our eyes are up here, so it may sort of lighten up that whole region. Okay, and the next in-breath, then we're going to move right to the very crown of the head. And we've lit up that whole string now and extended way, way, way up. So the whole spine is just an extension between the light of the cosmos and then the weight, the darkness of the earth. And there may be some movement along the spine. Okay, now we're going to go down the front. So with the next out breath, move the attention inside the body to right between the eyes, a little higher on the forehead. And you can look at that area with your eyes from within. And then breathing in and out of there. There may be some awareness of the one in the back too. And maybe some awareness of the brain. Okay. Now the tongue is supposed to be touching the roof of the mouth. And with the next out breath, we'll move the eyes down, move the attention down to the throat. And breathing there, we're breathing through the throat, of course. We're also breathing in all directions. And with the next out breath, we'll bring the attention down inside the body, down to behind the sternum, the breastbone, or the heart area. And still a connection to the back. The string of pearls is getting much longer. And aware of the heart, the lungs. Okay, with the next one, next out breath, we'll move down inside the body, down to between the middle and the lower dantian and the solar plexus. And feel the belly expanding. So we want to keep these all lined up. We're making this big oval. Okay, and then with the next out breath, we'll move down to the lower dantian. Okay, and the string of pearls is almost complete. And with the next out breath, we move down to the sexual organs, that area, opposite the tailbone. So being aware from inside. And then finally, when you're ready with an out breath, move down, back down to the perineum. And now the whole string is lit up. And then the body is enlivened in this direction. Okay? So now let's just do a sweep. So we'll hit each one, but just briefly. So starting at the perineum. So first in breath, we're going to move right up to the tailbone. And with every in breath, we're going to move up. With every out breath after that, we'll move down. So ready? So next in breath, move to the tailbone. The next one, the kidneys. And next one, middle of the back. Next one, behind the heart. Okay, next one, top of the spine where the neck meets. And next one, top where the skull meets the neck. And next one, the crown. Okay, out breath down to the third eye. Out breath down to the throat. And down to the heart. Solar plexus. Lower dantian. Sex organs. And perineum. Okay, this time let's do a sweep just up and down. So we'll maybe deepen our breath. So in breath, we're going to go all the way up from the perineum, moving the eyes, looking internally. We go all the way up to the crown, And then we'll take a breath or two there. Then with the out breath, we'll slide all the way back down to the perineum, take a breath or two there. So do this at your own pace. Okay, now let's just take an in-breath. We go up to the crown, out-breath down to the perineum. So beyond the string of pearls now, there'd just be this sort of field, this field of awareness, of sensation, of light. And then let the eyes become still and continue just with the mind, the attention. And then let the breathing slow down. And perhaps let the whole movement, the whole orbit, just become just this vibrating, rhythmic, energetic presence. Okay, very good. And for the next one, this is Shen Gong, spiritual Qigong. When we breathe in, we're going to breathe in through the perineum. We're going to breathe in light or fog, this white sort of light. Breathe it in. We're going to breathe it into the abdomen. And we're just going to let it be there for a little bit. So when you're ready, so breathe, take a deep breath, breathe in. So filling the lower dantian with this luminous white fog. And with the breath just sort of circulating around there. Let's see if you can feel it. Okay, and now we're going to pretend that the spine is like a tube, or that there's just this tube, like a bamboo tube of light, from the lower dantian up to the head. And then with an out breath, we'll let go a big out breath. We're going to shoot this white light up the spine, or up this tube, up into the brain. Okay, ready? So with a big out breath, let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. Shooting this all up into the brain. And now as we're breathing, this luminous fog is cleansing the brain. It's moving all around it, all inside of it. It's cleaning out the whole organ. Okay, very good. And it's getting darker. And now with the next out breath, we'll breathe out and we'll expel it through that third eye. So ready? 1, 2, 3. We shoot it out. It falls gently down to the earth. and becomes compost. Okay, we're going to do this 2 more times. So when you're ready, then attention down to the perineum. Big in-breath. Breathe in the white fog. Let it circulate a little. And then when you feel ready, a big out-breath, shoot it up into the brain and then continue. And when you're done, maybe move the body a little, just loosen it up a little bit. And let it become still. And when it becomes still, then we're aware of this channel or this tube, this laser beam. Okay, now we're going to focus our attention way down. And then with the in-breath, we're going to lift our eyes all the way up to the crown of the head from the inside and just open it completely so that our consciousness can extend way up into a luminous blue light. We're looking up through the open crown, this luminous blue light. And with the out breath, we're going to bring that down. Breathe naturally. With each out breath, we're going to bring down that luminous blue and fill every cell of the body. With this luminous blue light. There's no separation between the body and this luminous presence. And when you're ready, you can just let the eyes become neutral, just soft. Let the crown close up. And just enjoy this body that's filled with this luminous, this sparkling blue light. Okay, with the next out breath, we'll radiate that out through the pores of the skin in all directions. And just feel it. How does it feel for the body to be completely porous? How does that feel? How does it feel to be able to extend our sense out beyond the body. Okay. And when you're ready, just go back and do a little bit of movement. The body become loose. And as we do this, we're doing kind of an internal massage. You feel the internal organs moving gently against each other. And then as you're ready, you move your fingers and toes. Okay, just notice. Okay, very good. Now, so on the count of 3, let's clap our hands one time. 1, 2, 3. Make heat. Massage the eye sockets. Comb back the hair. And tug on the ears. And massage the temples. And tap the kidneys. And massage the kidneys. Okay, very good. Thank you for your practice. All right, so if you'd like to leave, that's fine. If you'd like to stay for comments, that's fine too. I'm going to stop the